Today, I'm going to tell you a tragic and romantic love story. This story will not only touch your heart but will also help you improve your English speaking skills. Let's begin. Once upon a time, in a bustling town near the ocean, there lived a beautiful and talented young woman named Emily. Emily was known throughout the town for her love of the piano. Her fingers would glide across the keys so gracefully, creating melodies that filled the hearts of anyone who listened. Emily spent her days teaching music to children and her nights playing in the town's grand concert hall. In that same town lived a humble writer named Samuel. He wasn't as famous as Emily, but he had a deep love for words. Samuel would spend hours in his small, cozy apartment writing stories, poems, and letters. His writing was rich with emotion, though he kept it to himself, rarely sharing it with anyone. Samuel admired Emily from afar, often attending her concerts but never having the courage to speak to her. One evening, fate brought them together. After a concert, Emily was walking home when it began to rain heavily. Without an umbrella, she rushed to the nearest shelter, which happened to be a small cafe. Samuel, who was sitting at a corner table, noticed her as she stepped in, soaked from the rain. Recognizing her from the concerts, Samuel, shy but determined, offered her his umbrella. Emily smiled warmly and accepted his kind gesture. That night, they sat together at the cafe, sipping tea and talking about music, books, and life. Samuel found himself opening up to her in ways he hadn't with anyone before, and Emily, in turn, felt a connection with him she hadn't expected. Over the next few months, Samuel and Emily grew close. They spent evenings walking along the beach, sharing stories of their childhoods, and discussing their dreams. Samuel wrote beautiful letters to Emily, expressing his feelings, while Emily played piano pieces inspired by their conversations. It was as though their love was a perfect harmony of words and music. However, as with many love stories, life had other plans. One day, Emily received an invitation to study music in a famous conservatory in another country. It was a dream come true, but it meant she would have to leave the town, and Samuel, behind for several years. Conflicted, she didn't know whether to stay or pursue her dreams. Emily and Samuel sat by the ocean one evening, the waves crashing against the shore as they discussed her opportunity. Samuel, hiding his sadness, told her to go. He believed she deserved to follow her dreams, even if it meant they would be apart. Emily hesitated, but in the end, she agreed. They promised to write to each other every day and vowed that their love would stay strong despite the distance. For the first few months, the letters were constant. Samuel poured his heart out in his writing, and Emily responded with stories of her life at the conservatory, her struggles, and how much she missed him. But as time went on, the letters from Emily became less frequent. She was growing busier with her studies and performances. Meanwhile, Samuel's heart ached as he waited for each letter, never knowing when it would come. After a year, Emily's letters stopped altogether. Samuel was devastated but tried to remain hopeful. He would often go to the beach where they used to walk, imagining her beside him, their laughter echoing in his mind. He wrote to her constantly, but the letters went unanswered. 2 years passed, and Samuel heard nothing from Emily. He began to believe she had forgotten him, moved on with her new life. One day, while sitting in the cafe where they had first met, he saw a newspaper on the table. On the front page was a picture of Emily, standing beside a famous conductor, smiling brightly. The article announced that Emily had become one of the top pianists in the world, performing in prestigious concert halls across the globe. Samuel's heart sank. He realized that Emily had achieved everything she had dreamed of, but in doing so, she had left him behind. Unable to bear the pain any longer, Samuel stopped writing and retreated into his quiet life, his heart heavy with unspoken words. Years later, Emily returned to the town. She had achieved great fame and success, but her heart felt empty. She had never forgotten Samuel, but her career had consumed her, leaving little room for love. When she arrived at her old home, she found a box of unopened letters, all from Samuel. With trembling hands, she read through them, each letter filled with love, longing, and sorrow. She realized then how much she had hurt him by not responding. Determined to make things right, Emily went to the beach where they used to walk, hoping to find Samuel there. But when she arrived, she found only silence. Samuel was gone. She asked around town and learned that he had moved away years ago, his heart broken and his spirit crushed by her absence. Devastated, Emily sat by the ocean, tears streaming down her face. She had achieved everything she had ever wanted, but in doing so, she had lost the one person who truly loved her for who she was. She played her final concert in the town that night, but it wasn't the same without Samuel there to listen. As the years passed, Emily continued to play music, but her heart was never whole again. She carried Samuel's letters with her wherever she went, a reminder of the love she had lost but never forgotten. Her music, once filled with joy and passion, became melancholic and haunting, reflecting the deep sorrow she carried inside. Though they were never reunited, the memory of their love lived on in Emily's music and Samuel's letters, a tragic reminder that sometimes, love is lost not because it wasn't strong enough, but because life can pull people in different directions. Their love, like a melody, echoed through time, beautiful, fleeting, and forever unforgettable. This story offers several valuable lessons and can help you improve your English speaking skills in various ways. Vocabulary expansion. The story uses a range of descriptive words and phrases that can help you learn new vocabulary. Words like melancholic, devastated, and prestigious enrich your understanding and usage of English. Sentence structure. By reading or telling the story, you can see how complex sentences are structured. This helps in understanding how to build your own sentences with more sophistication. Emotional expression. The story deals with deep emotions such as love, sadness, and longing. Practicing this story can help you convey emotions more effectively in English. Storytelling techniques. You can learn how to craft a compelling narrative, including how to develop characters, build tension, and create a satisfying conclusion. This is useful for both writing and speaking. Listening and comprehension. If you listen to or read this story multiple times, you'll improve your listening and comprehension skills. Understanding the flow of the story and the relationship between characters is key to better English comprehension. Pronunciation and intonation. Reading the story aloud helps with pronunciation and intonation, making your speech more natural and engaging. Cultural insight. The story provides cultural and emotional contexts that might enhance your understanding of different human experiences and this version provides a rich narrative with enough length to keep the listener engaged for a longer duration. You can use it to practice various aspects of speaking, intonation, emotions, and pacing, all while learning new vocabulary and expressions.